Level 1. The fatal mistake. You stand in the middle of a dark alley, holding someone else's wallet and a heavy gun in your trembling hands. Your heart is pounding at 200 beats per minute, and cold sweat is stinging your eyes. Just a few minutes ago, you decided to rob this small 24/7 convenience store on the edge of town. Adrenaline blinded your mind, turning an ordinary evening into the worst nightmare of your life. The clerk made just one careless step backward, and your finger instinctively pulled the trigger. A loud gunshot shattered the night silence, splintering the glass and your future into tiny pieces. You watch $50 slip from your fingers straight into a dirty puddle. That young man's life was worth less than the price of a cheap gas station burger tonight. The terrified scream of a random bystander forces you to immediately run away through the darkness of the empty streets. You cover 3 city blocks in seconds, but you cannot escape your own horror. From afar, you can already hear the alarming sirens of police cars rapidly approaching the scene. Red and blue flashes of light begin to pulse brightly on the walls of neighboring brick buildings. You hide the weapon under your old jacket, trying to merge with the night shadows of this state. Every step on the wet asphalt feels like a loud explosion exposing your location. Fear grips your throat, making your lungs burst from the lack of fresh night air. You realize you have done something completely irreversible that will change your very existence forever. Suddenly, 2 black and white patrol cars pull out from around the corner, blocking your only way out. A menacing voice over the loudspeaker orders you to put your hands up immediately and drop down. The cold asphalt touches your face as steel handcuffs tightly clamp around your burning wrists. Your free life ended at this exact second, giving way to a long, inevitable retribution. Level completed. Before we jump into the next tier of the simulation, drop a subscribe so you never miss a new story. Thanks for being here and watching now. Let's get back to it. Level 2. The final verdict. The county courtroom is filled with a heavy silence, broken only by the quiet whispering of the jury. You sit at a wooden table in a cheap suit, feeling dozens of hateful glares on you. Your court-appointed public defender looks sadly at the papers, realizing the complete failure of your defense. The lead prosecutor points his finger confidently at you, demanding the maximum penalty for a killer. All evidence of guilt is fully gathered, and the street camera clearly captured every single second of the crime. The jury foreman slowly stands up from his seat, holding a printed official verdict in his hands. Your heart stops as 12 random citizens find you guilty on all counts. The judge in the black robe adjusts his glasses and looks sternly straight into your terrified eyes. Such a quiet room hangs in the courtroom that you can hear the rapid breathing of your own attorney. The judge will read a sentence that will forever erase any hopes you have for future clemency. For this severe crime, you're sentenced to death by electrocution. The victim's relatives weep aloud with relief, while you feel the ground slipping away from under your feet. The cold words of the judge ring in your brain like the heavy toll of a terrible judicial doom. It feels like just a nightmare, but reality cruelly drags you right back. The guards immediately lift you from the chair and put heavy metal handcuffs back on you. You take your first steps toward the exit, realizing that the light of the sun is now lost. The audience in the courtroom sees you off with a silent, contemptuous glare without a shred of pity. The courtroom doors close behind your back with a loud, ominous metallic click. A police van waits for you outside to transport you to your place of final confinement. The path to death row begins right now, and there is no turning back anymore. Enjoyed the video? Drop a super thanks below to support the channel and help me make even more awesome content for you. Appreciate you. Level 3. Welcome to Death Row. A specialized bus transports you to a maximum security prison under heavy guard. High concrete walls topped with electrified razor wire meet you with a gloomy gray sight. You are led through 5 massive steel doors, each clanging shut behind your back. The guards order you to strip down for a full body search before entering the specialized unit. You are issued a standard orange jumpsuit, which from now on becomes your only everyday clothing. Your new cell measures 6 by 8 feet and is stripped of any comfort. A metal bed with a thin mattress, a concrete sink, and a toilet make up your entire world. A small barred window near the ceiling lets in only a narrow beam of pale daylight. The cell door slams shut with a heavy thud, knocking the last bits of air out of you. Block neighbors yell and bang on the walls, welcoming the newest resident of the death corridor. A distinct smell of dampness, cheap soap, and constant, unsettling human fear lingers here. You sit on the edge of the cold bunk, cupping your head in hands, trembling with despair. Every single day here is scheduled down to the minute, yet time seems completely frozen forever. You are allowed to leave this tiny cage for only 1 hour a day for recreation. The enclosed space begins to crush your mind from the very first minutes of being here. You stare at the gray concrete walls that have seen hundreds of others condemned to die. Not a single sound from the outside world penetrates these thick walls anymore. You are left completely alone with your terrible thoughts and an unextinguishable sense of guilt. Your first night on death row becomes the longest ordeal of your current life. The realization that this is your new home gradually kills any remaining hope inside you. Level 4. The years of waiting. Days turn into months, and months slowly turn into long, exhausting years. You count the days by scratching lines into the wall every evening using a nail. Your attorney files endless appeals, trying to delay the final execution date. Every denial from a higher court deals a painful blow to your already fragile mental state. You watch your block neighbors head down their final walk, one after another. The stench of old age and hopelessness becomes your only constant shadow in this cramped cell. Your body weakens from the lack of movement, and your eyesight deteriorates in the constant dim lighting. Paid family visits become rarer and rarer until they stop altogether. Your family slowly drifts away, unable to endure this endless psychological trauma. You learn to live in complete isolation, where the only entertainment is reading old books. The hope for a miraculous pardon gradually fades, giving way to a deep, heavy apathy. You no longer cry at night, because all your tears dried up long ago. Your past life feels like someone else's dream that never actually happened. Weekly visits from the prison chaplain become your only chance to pour out your pain completely. He speaks of redemption and mercy, but you see only indifferent eyes all around you. Every ringing phone in the hallway makes you flinch at the thought that your execution date has arrived. 10 years on death row have altered your appearance and completely burned out your soul. You look into a small mirror and see the aged face of a complete stranger. Time has lost all meaning, turning into an endless wait for an inevitable tragic end. Your mind slowly grows accustomed to the thought that the end is already right beside you. Level 5. The system and isolation. The system keeps you alive not to save you, but to execute a procedure. Every morning at 6 o'clock, a guard bangs his nightstick against the bars to check on you. Your diet consists of cheap food served through a small slot in the door. You have lost over 20 pounds due to constant stress and poor nutrition. The ban on any physical contact with other human beings makes you feral and withdrawn. Your hands have forgotten the feel of a warm, friendly handshake or a sincere embrace from loved ones. The constant hum of fluorescent lights in the hallway slowly drives you insane every day. You know every guard's schedule and can recognize them by their footsteps from afar. Sometimes you hear the screams of other inmates who have lost control of their minds. Your mental health deteriorates, leaving behind only emptiness and indifference to everything around you. Your body begins to ache from sitting for extended periods on hard surfaces without proper rest. You write letters that no one ever sends long-awaited replies to anymore. The world outside these concrete walls continues to move on without your slightest involvement. New technologies and changes in society feel like something from another galaxy to you. You have turned into a living ghost, waiting for your official physical destruction. The self-hatred for that fatal mistake gradually turns into total acceptance. You no longer blame the judge or the police for your current tragic fate. Understanding your own guilt becomes a heavy cross that you must carry to the very end. The cell space feels smaller and smaller, as if the walls are slowly closing in on you. You are a man ready for any outcome, just to bring an end to this torment. Level 6. The final warrant. Clutching a warm mug of cheap coffee, you hear unfamiliar footsteps in the hallway. The prison warden, accompanied by 3 guards, stops outside your cell door. In his hands is an official document bearing the state's red seal on the paper. The metal door opens, and you take a step forward with your head bowed down. Your heart begins to beat rapidly again. Sensing the approach of the most important moment of your life, the warden solemnly reads out the death warrant, signed by the state governor just this morning. Your execution is scheduled for next Thursday at 7 o'clock in the evening sharp. Only 7 days remain until the moment current passes through your body. You are offered papers to sign, confirming that you have been served with your execution date. The pen feels impossibly heavy, and your signature comes out crooked and completely blurred. The guards begin the process of preparing you for transfer to the execution unit. From this moment on, a dedicated death watch officer monitors your every move 24/7. You are forbidden from having any sharp objects to ensure you do not harm yourself. The countdown has begun in hours, and every second becomes immensely precious to you. You look at the calendar and realize that this is your last summer here. The feeling of fear suddenly vanishes, leaving behind only an icy chill inside. Your thoughts become extraordinarily clear, and your perception of the world around you sharpens to the limit. You begin to notice small details that you never paid attention to before. The last week of your life promises to be the longest and hardest trial of your destiny. You gather your humble belongings, preparing for the transfer to your final cell. Level 7. Death Watch begins. The holding cell next to the execution chamber is located just a few steps away from the lethal room itself. Sterile cleanliness reigns here, and the walls are painted an unpleasant pale green color. A guard in the booth watches you through bulletproof glass without stopping. The governor denied your final request for clemency an hour ago. The last ray of hope has definitively gone out, leaving no chance for salvation. You are allowed to make one final phone call lasting no longer than 5 minutes. You dial your mother's number, but hear only long ringtones in response. She couldn't bring herself to pick up the phone to hear her killer son's voice before he dies. A tear slowly rolls down your cheek, leaving a salty trail on your skin. The prison chaplain sits beside you and begins to read a prayer for the repose of your soul. You listen to his words, but your thoughts are drifting somewhere far away from here. You are invited to choose your last meal up to a total cost of no more than $15. You order a simple cheeseburger, French fries, and a single glass of refreshing Coca-Cola. When the tray of food is brought in, you feel that you have completely lost your appetite. Every single bite feels like a piece of dry cotton that is absolutely impossible to swallow right now. You push the tray away and look at the clock on the wall across the hallway. The clock hand relentlessly approaches the 6 o'clock mark this evening. Your body begins to tremble slightly from the realization of the inevitability of the upcoming terrible events. The chaplain places his warm hand on your shoulder, trying to offer a bit of comfort. You close your eyes, trying to remember the best moments of your distant childhood. Level 8. Preparation of the body. Only 1 hour remains until the execution, and the physical preparation begins. 2 stern guards enter the cell and order you to stand up immediately. They shave your head and your right calf using sharp electric clippers. This is necessary to ensure the best possible electrical contact with the metal electrodes. Hair falls onto the floor, and you feel a strange chill on your scalp. After that, you are led to the shower stall for your final hygienic wash. Hot water runs down your body, but you do not feel any desired warmth. You are issued a new specialized outfit without any metal buttons or zippers. The trousers with a short right leg are designed specifically for quick contact connection. Your hands and feet are tightly bound again with heavy metal restraints. A doctor enters the cell to check your pulse and overall physical condition. His cold fingers touch your neck, recording a rapid and uneven heartbeat. He silently nods his head to the guards, confirming the body's readiness for the execution. All participants in the process act strictly according to protocol, without extra words or emotions. You feel less like a human being and more like an object for a scheduled technical procedure. Fear reaches its peak, turning into total numbness throughout all the muscles in your body. Your breathing becomes fast and shallow, and your mouth dries out completely. The chaplain whispers a final blessing, crossing you with a trembling right hand before the door. The heavy oak door of the execution chamber slowly opens, right in front of your face. You take your final step in life, entering the light of the fatal room. Level 9. The wooden chair. In the center of the room stands a massive old oak chair, fitted with numerous straps. Behind a large glass window, witnesses, the prosecutor, and local newspaper journalists watch you. The guards quickly seat you on the hard wooden seat of this terrifying device. Thick leather straps immediately tighten around your chest, arms, and both legs. They bind your body so tightly that you cannot make even the slightest movement. A metal electrode is attached to your completely shaved right leg using a strap. A special helmet with a wet sponge inside for the current is fitted onto your head. Cool, salty water from the sponge slowly trickles down your terrified face. A black leather mask is placed over your face, depriving you of the ability to see the outside world. Darkness covers you, leaving only the sounds of breathing and noises in the room. The prison warden asks if you wish to offer your last words to the witnesses. Your voice trembles as you quietly ask for forgiveness from the relatives of the slain clerk. You realize that these words will change nothing about your tragic fate anymore. The warden steps aside and signals the executioner standing behind a hidden wall. The voltage in the circuit rises, and you hear the loud hum of a transformer nearby. Every muscle in your body tenses up in anticipation of the deadly first surge of electricity. Your heart pounds in your temples with such force as if it wants to burst out of your chest. You feel the cold breath of death itself standing right beside you. Seconds drag on like an eternity, wearing down your already terrified perception. You brace yourself for the first blast of pain that is supposed to end your existence. Level 10. The darkness. Suddenly, a single yet most important question of your life arises in your head. Was that brief satisfaction from $50 worth this horrific end? Your entire futile pursuit of easy money brought you straight to this chair. You would give your whole life for the chance to return to that fatal evening. The mistake cannot be fixed, and the price for it turned out to be far too high today. All your dreams, plans, and hopes disappear inside this terrifying black leather mask. The executioner throws the massive switch, and 2,000 volts surge through your body. A terrifying wave of unbelievable pain and heat instantly shatters your consciousness to pieces. Muscles contract with inhuman force, and your lungs automatically force out the last remaining air. A bright white light flashes before your eyes, blinding your mind for a fraction of a second. The sound of the transformer's hum becomes the last thing your damaged auditory nerve perceives. Thoughts come to a complete halt, shutting down any sensations of pain or terrifying fear. Your body makes one final convulsive jerk against the sturdy leather straps on the chair. Your heart stops instantly, ending its rapid rhythm of despair and pain. The darkness becomes absolute, swallowing your existence in endless, infinite time and space. The doctor approaches the body and officially pronounces physical death at 7 o'clock. The witnesses behind the glass slowly stand up from their seats, leaving the grim execution chamber. The story of your life ended in this old oak chair under electric current. Only silence and emptiness remain, which will never be replaced by anything again. Your final breath dissolved into thin air, leaving behind only eternal, somber peace.